You're listening to the Luxe Lounge Podcast, the official podcast of Urban Luxe Real Estate. And now, here are your hosts, Joe and Dave.
Welcome, Dave. Luxe Lounge Podcast. We are Urban Luxe Real Estate here in Old Town Scottsdale. Do this podcast every week. And we're going to be leaning heavy on you because you are the man that runs the VRBOs.
Yeah, Five Diamond Vacation Properties is growing like crazy. What we've just kind of seen happen with COVID's been absolutely crazy, and some of the numbers that these houses are renting for.
Yeah, and I usually only knew about the other side of the Airbnb kind of market where I wanted to go to a different city and hang out there for a couple of days. Had no idea what it took. I imagine somebody came in and cleaned up after me. I know there's ratings about, if you're a good property, and then there's ratings if you're a good tenant. And then we're seeing these morphing of VRBOs, instead of being a 1 or 2 night stay, being a 1 or 2 month stay.
Yeah, especially here because, you're getting a lot of people from, back east, Chicago, New York, that are in these very cold climates and, little small apartments, and they can come out here and be in, 75 degrees in the sunshine with a heated pool. I would take that too.
I'm getting creative with a client today. And, our last podcast, we talked a lot about, hey, we can sell your house, but maybe we can't easily buy you a house because inventory is low. And I just got off the phone with a client. I said, how would you guys like to VRBO for a little while I find you a house? Your previous house is sold, so you don't have a contingency as a buyer anymore. You got cash in hand, and you can go live anywhere in the city you want to. Or guess what? You can go live in a different city for a little while if your job allows you, and VRBO for a month or two while we find you that next house.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there should be, there's definitely a lot of people taking advantage of it out here. What we've, been kind of really coaching our clients through on the owner side is, let us help you find the house. And if we're looking at, Old Town Scottsdale or 85254, also look for areas that are going to have good appreciation with some new developments happening. Really just want to have 4-bedroom plus with a pool. Ideally, it's remodeled so that you can just, furnish it or allow us to furnish it for you and then start renting it out right away. And even those have been really tough to find right now. We're having a lot of people wanting to buy their second home here. If they live in New York and they've got family here, maybe they want to come spend a few months out of the year here. And then we just kind of take it over for them and let it pay for itself, if not make them some money. And then they get to use it whenever they want. It's really kind of the best scenario for a second home.
Oh yeah. I'm looking in Flagstaff, a little colder, get out of the summer heat a little bit with the family, and thinking, boy, if I VRBO'd that, I'd actually make money and have a second home.
That's, I'm in the same boat. I've been looking up in Flagstaff as well.
Well, I'm not sharing a house with you.
Yeah, no. But, we've got a lot of clients that live up in the Pacific Northwest or even, in Canada, and, 15 houses, over $200,000 in rent coming in for the month of March.
That's fantastic for a client. So what does it take actually from the kind of behind the Wizard of Oz curtain of what do you do to get that place ready? Where do you list it? What kind of returns you're looking for? What has to happen between each tenant for cleaning up? And what does that look like?
Yeah, sure. So we, from kind of starting out, we want to see about a 10% return. Ideally, try not to have much more than $200,000 of your own cash in there. And a lot of with the loans right now for a second home can be 10% down, and the interest rate's, around 3%. So that makes it really, really feasible to get that return. If, we're paying cash for something, it's a lot harder to hit that, 10% plus. So for us, I like you to have the least amount of cash in as possible. But if we're looking at, $750,000 house, then we're 10% down, probably another $50,000 in furniture or, projects and stuff. And then what we want to see from that point is we'll go in and furnish it for them, get everything really nice and stylish, make it very comfortable. And that's usually in that $40,000 to $50,000 range. And then what we'll do is we'll get it up on the Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, all those sites, in addition to our own. And from that point on, really the owners don't have to step out of it. But we're fully stocked kitchens, pool towels, bath towels, robes. We really want it to be a really nice experience for everybody. So once we're, to that point where we can put it up on the channels, then we start booking it right away. So I'll give you an example. We had one that we just finished up. We put it up on the channels on Friday. It's already booked $12,000 for next month.
And when you say channels, what is that?
That's the Airbnb, VRBO, all the booking.com, all those different websites. So we've got software that connects to all of them. So the calendars all link up. And so, for us, we're probably one of the most affordable management companies. There's a lot of companies out there that are 25 to 30%, and we're only down to 15. And then, in terms of like actually managing the property, we want it to be completely hands off for the owner. We've got a crew of 6 cleaners that go in and clean every inch of this house, especially with COVID. There's extra cleaning precautions and stuff like that. So everything's all set to go, and the house is ready again same day by 4:00.
Again, me being up there last week in Flagstaff, I was surprised that we came back from dinner. We were all a little tired, went sledding that day, and they actually had sleds in the property in the garage, made it awesome, so we didn't have to go buy or rent any. We kind of crashed back in the house afterwards. The kids, there was a PlayStation there with a whole bunch of games. I grabbed a paperback book off the shelf, and we just used that like it was our own house. Really comfortable, so unlike a hotel.
It's much better. You're not dealing with the crowds. And I think especially a lot of travelers right now don't, even most hotels are going to have heated pools, right? So nobody wants to go get in a pool with a bunch of other people. So being able to have that private house with the private pool is, especially if it's heated, we've really pushed a majority of our owners that didn't have the pool heaters on to get them this year. One of them almost missed out on $12,000 worth of bookings in October. We had a pool heater installed 4 days later, and he was able to capture 10,000 of it.
That was our only recommendation, was that they put a hot tub, because sitting in the snow with a hot tub would have been fantastic for the family up in there in Flagstaff, and I'm sure they're making the money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to find a place in Flagstaff right now. I was looking at some around Christmas time. They're already booked out through March.
Yeah, I was lucky because I booked during the week, because again, our jobs, we can get away during the week and pull the kids out of school because she was sick.
And that happens.
We played a little hooky to go sledding. A lot of people don't know, who are outside of Phoenix, what we have to offer as a city here, and why you'd want to do that. Boy, we have. You can go down to Tucson. That's again a major city. Good restaurants are getting better. Day trips down to Mexico. We have the town of Bisbee, kind of the Old West with the hauntings, but a lot of artists there. You can go up to Flagstaff, which is, again, has you were skiing there a couple weeks ago.
We were just up there skiing a couple weeks ago. A couple of us and a couple of other families, we rented a big Airbnb house. It was like 4,000 square feet, plenty of room for everybody.
Yeah, we did a staycation in Sedona this summer, and a little cooler. Red Rocks, great hiking. Brought a bunch of friends up there, and then we have Eastern Arizona with pine and strawberry, and a lot of cabins, a lot of weekend places for people that just want to kind of have that little cabin in the woods, see deer and elk every day. Wonderful little towns.
Yeah, Flagstaff's such a nice little getaway too. If you want to go skiing, or just to get up and get in the snow, or like you're saying, get out of the heat in the summer. And I think the nice thing about when we're talking about these vacation rentals and we're taking these second homes, it allows you to gain an asset that doesn't really cost you anything. Somebody else is paying it off for you, and you're getting the benefit of using it.
So let's say a person like me comes to you and says, I want a second home, or I want an investment property. I mean, they can look at it different ways. Like me, it'd be a second home that I want to make some money on. Or it could be somebody who says, I just want to go buy 10 investment properties. Where would you take me from there?
So the way that I've kind of just, put this program together for guys like you would be, let me be your trusted real estate advisor. If you go and you got, let's say, $500,000 to go invest in the stock market, you don't necessarily do that yourself. You go to somebody who knows, and you don't tell them which stocks.
I should have done that.
Yeah. But you generally don't go pick your investment portfolio. You hire somebody to do that. So what we want to do is be that in the same way. If you have $500,000 and you want to go invest it in real estate, well, the VRBO aspect of it is a much more aggressive investment. There's more cost on your end with keeping all the utilities going. However, the reward can be, upwards of 15 to 25%, just depending on the house and the amount of cash that you have into it. So really hard to go make 10 to 15% and have somebody else paying off an asset for you. So we would kind of look at maybe saying, okay, hey, why don't we take $150,000 and do a VRBO in a second home that you like, that you get to use, and then maybe we take the rest of it, we go buy more longer term rentals, so that way you're not fully leveraged to the most aggressive investment. Or what we're starting to see with a lot of these guys is their first VRBO does so well, they're like, give me another one, and then give me another one. And so in that scenario, we're really excited to see, and it's allowing us to build up our portfolio while managing great assets for our clients.
I was just dealing with a new client, a horror story. She had me sell a property she just bought last April. The agent didn't check to see if the HOA allowed short-term rental. And she buys the property, furnishes it, got his forks and knives in the drawers, silverware and glasses in the cupboards, ready to get that first tenant in there, and then realizes it's a 90-day minimum tenant.
That's a tough one. And that's the challenge with a lot of these HOAs. If within their CCNRs, you're technically in breach of contract if you go and you're buying that nightly rental.
Yeah, and their previous agent that helped them buy that property, nowhere to be found, did not check. Really a breach of fiduciary.
Absolutely, and that's a shame. But hey, at least you're getting a sale out of it.
It did sell in a day. But again, that's why even myself, who's been in the business twice as long as Dave, I'd be calling you. Because you know the numbers better than I do. I don't want to say I'm ignorant to the fact, but I know what I don't know, and I know when you bring a professional in.
And that's a big thing to know. Even with working with some of our agents that they could get their clients. It's a tough space when you're investing people's money and you're trying to guarantee them a return. Obviously, everything's kind of subject to the market and what's happening, but if you don't really know, and I give you $500,000 and I lose money that first year. Well, what the hell happened? You really didn't represent me properly. And so, I always want to work with everybody that is at Urban Luxe to make sure that their clients are getting the right deal so that they can make some money.
And then if I would never want to rent it out myself, because one, I don't want to be cleaning somebody else's sheets. Two, I don't have the software to get on every website at the same time, managing the calendars. For 15%, I think you guys are a deal. And that's why I want to have this call today, because realistically, it's something I lean into. I know the agents here do, and our clients love it. And it's we're a very VRBO friendly state.
Yeah, and I think we always try to keep our portfolio with really, really nice, higher end homes. But the houses all do really well, and they get taken care of. And I think what we've seen when houses we've taken over from other management companies is no one's really managing the house. They're managing the bookings and that kind of stuff, but there's weeds in the backyard, or there stuff's broken at the house. And for us, it's why would you buy a $750,000 asset and just let it deteriorate and rot away? We want to make sure the house is staying in good condition. So if you want to come use it yourself, you're excited to come and even stay in your own home.
Oh yeah, and the property we took up in Flagstaff, I got to tell you, they had a couple of locked closets, so they obviously have their own stuff in there for when they want to use it. But the flip of it was such a nice, beautiful property, so well maintained that we took an hour to clean it on our way out, because we wanted to make sure that we were rated good as tenants, but we respected the property because they respected the property.
Yeah, and it makes a big difference. Even for us, we try to we offer concierge services as well. Not everybody always takes them up, but if you're traveling with your family and you want to maybe put your wife's favorite bottle of wine in the fridge or some milk and cereal so that you don't have to run off to the grocery store, we want to just go above and beyond, make sure you guys have that opportunity so you can start your vacation right away. But the in-person greetings and stuff like that is all something we try to do when we can. And it's always nice because you get to meet the people and see, what they're looking to do and how you can help them make their stay a little bit better.
Yeah. And again, they, something again, I wasn't as familiar with, and I wouldn't know if I was managing my own property, but the book was so complete on what to do when we came in and what to do on the way out. It was very easy to follow. The manager there had done a really nice job of letting us know what they expected of us as a tenant.
And that's good, because you're going to get, people are just going to come in and trash houses. We understand that. And I think from an owner's perspective, as long as you look at, hey, this house is a business and there's going to be some wear and tear and this and that, we obviously try to catch everything that we can. One thing that was really tough this year is Airbnb changed all their policies. And they basically offer $1 million damage policy per reservation until the next person checks in. So if you have a same day check-in, and somebody trashes the house the morning before, Airbnb is no longer going to cover that. So it's really, really important for us, depending on, making sure that house is still in good condition and we can get those damage protections through Airbnb.
So you guys actually view that property between each rental?
Every single time.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I know a lot of companies hire a cleaning service to do it, and they don't really communicate with that cleaning service, and things get missed.
Yep, our cleaning service takes pictures of everything when they're there. Lets us know, immediately if there's been sheets that have been stained or anything like that. All the sheets go off to a laundry service. We get them back next day. Everything is always cleaned and sanitized just to make sure that house is safe for anybody.
So can you talk to me, how much, again, you're talking about $200,000. So how much do you think I need to invest, and where would you invest that money right now if you were a person buying in Phoenix Basin?
So I would probably, what I've been looking for is houses in 85254. So Paradise Valley Mall has started the process to redevelop that entire area, which is going to be great. And the houses that we have up in 85254 are absolutely crushing it. And we have one that booked $35,000 next month.
Wow.
Which is insane. The guy's going to pay his mortgage in 1 month for the year. So if you can find something up there, but again, I think as we get, about 800,000, 900,000 is about as high as you can go to have the numbers still make sense. The other next thing to do is to maybe look in like Paradise Valley and go to that $2 million home where we're trying to get, $3,000 plus a night. And then in that scenario, the returns still look really, really good.
Yeah, I don't think some people understand that. We'll have some rentals here, especially during season, where people happily rent for $30,000 a month.
Yep. I had a guy contact me over the weekend and he said, "Hey, we're trying to extend our stay a couple weeks or another month. My budget's $30K. And I don't have any houses for it because everything's full.
But it's surprisingly, there are a lot of neighborhoods. So if you're out there and you're one of those people who has a house, let's say in Silverleaf or in Troon or Paradise Valley, and you have this, what we consider a mansion-sized home, and it's been sitting empty, and you'd be surprised how many people never use a home and it's worth $3-5 million and they don't visit it. It just sits empty. It'd probably be good for the house to have it occupied a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want the showers, seals, and valves and all that stuff to start going bad, because the minute you go out to use it, you're going to have issues the entire time you're there. So it's better to have a company like us come in, keep it active, make some money on it, and then you can block it out and use it whenever you want.
Yeah, so, and a little bit of write-off there too.
Absolutely. And every owner gets their own little dashboard within our software. So if you're saying, "Hey, I'm going to come out for 2 weeks in March," you just block it off and you're good to go. House will be ready for you.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people thought, oh boy, with COVID, the slowdown, not a good time to invest, or spring training isn't going to look like it used to, not a good time to invest. Cardinals football, West Side, not a good time to invest. I'm seeing just the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, there's never a bad time to own real estate. And it's one of the only investments you can make where somebody else will pay it off for you and it'll go up in value. And so as long as you're working with the right agent and you understand, and everything's, in cycles. So if the house goes down in value, then don't sell it while it's down in value. Wait for it to go back up. And we're not seeing that, of all the data that you and I look at, we're not seeing any signs of values going down in Arizona. In fact, the demand for housing just keeps going up.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why we're leveraging so hard into the VRBO market with our investors, because we get a lot of people come out here and say, "Hey, I want to buy a small 4-plex or a 12-plex or a 20-unit or a 50-unit multifamily." Those are so overpriced right now and so near impossible to get. You're going to pay such a premium. If you really just care about your return, VRBO is probably an easier, smarter way to make that money.
I think so. I mean, there's something to be said for owning 4-plexes and stuff like that, or even taking a 4-plex and turning it into a VRBO. Basically have like a mini hotel, but you got to work with what's available out there. And, you can even come in and remodel something, turn it and remodel it for a VRBO and make, a couple of amenities that are a little bit more VRBO friendly and make that house so it's one of those houses that's just going to crush it.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned that Arizona's a VRBO friendly state. A lot of states aren't. I'll be seeing Denver shutting down their VRBOs, Portland shutting down their VRBOs. So some states are just not VRBO friendly. Arizona, those investors, they really want to reinvest. They want to do a 1031 exchange out of Denver maybe and bring it down to Phoenix. We have properties. You're going to pay a lot for the property, but you should if you want a really nice property and get good returns because you'll have a quality product.
Absolutely. And the state makes way too much money off of these taxes that people are paying for VRBO. So I don't think that they're wanting it to go anywhere.
Yeah. Again, for our state, it makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of fun when you see those groups of, 5 to 10 guys taking over a house for spring training, and hopefully they're not trashing it, but having a lot of fun. We have some of those in a lot of the neighborhoods I have property in, and I don't see it as a downside as long as it's maintained well. And I think that's where that right property manager comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. And, people are going to throw parties and they're going to be a little bit louder, but as long as you have the rules and you follow through, you really can control it. We've never seen anything too extreme of damage or people just completely disregarding, any rules, regulations. So the property manager definitely is a big factor in that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been Flagstaff and I'm going to bed earlier than I usually do. And oh my goodness, we read books and played video games. So I think we're probably the perfect tenants. But you're seeing that too. So I don't want the horror stories to keep people away from those properties. The bottom line is it's always good to invest in real estate. Like you were saying, there's ways to make money in real estate, even if you're overpaying for the property, that will make it smart for you. You don't have to go out and think, to be an investor, I've got to go out and buy a $5 million multiplex unit. You can just start small.
Yep.
You can pick up a bungalow in Scottsdale, have you guys furnish it, have you guys maintain it. Just let it sit there and make some money.
Absolutely. We're happy to do it.
Great. Well, that's all we wanted to do today was talk about our 5 Diamond group and our VRBO business. If you're interested in being a landlord, having somebody else maintain that property for you, just cash checks. We have people that have never even seen the property, bought it sight unseen, relied on our expertise on Dave and his team. So Dave, thanks for doing such a great job at that and of making it available to our customers.
You got it. You guys have a great week and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. We're signing out. We will talk to you next week.
Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to the Luxe Lounge Podcast, the official podcast of Urban Luxe Real Estate, located in Old Town Scottsdale, Arizona. If you'd like to support the show, please give us a 5-star review on your podcast player of choice, follow the show on Instagram, or subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you have questions for Joe and Dave, feel free to write in to luxloungepod@gmail.com. We may talk about your question on the show. If you would like to learn more about Urban Luxe Real Estate, please visit our website, urbanluxre.com, for more information. This podcast was produced by T-Door Productions. Intro music by Doug Maxwell. Outro music by Track Tribe.